today is going to be my second installment in my upcoming in series that I started back in February. Obviously, today I'm going to be talking about all the things that are upcoming in March. So March for me is going to be a very busy month. I have a lot of stuff going on. I think I have something going on the first 3 weekends of the month, and then I have a break at the end, and then I have some more stuff going on in April. So March is going to be a little bit crazy, but I have a ton of plans for March, and there are also so many books coming out in March, specifically March 3rd. I feel like it's just the prime day for book releases. So it is going to be a little bit interesting to see how March goes for me, but I'm going to be talking to you about all of the things that I'm very excited about in the upcoming month. As I stated in my first upcoming in video, these are going to be part most anticipated releases, part TBR. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of books that are coming out in March that I'm excited about reading. I'm also going to talk about some movies, or at least one movie that's coming out in March that I'm excited to see. And then I'm going to talk about some other books that I hope to get to at some point during the month. So as I said, the 3rd of March is like the prime release day for so many people this year. There are so many anticipated books coming out on the 3rd of March, including the new Sarah J Maas book, Crescent City, and also the new Cassandra Clare book, Chain of Gold. I am not interested in either of those books. I'm not caught up on the Shadowhunters world, and I'm going to give the new Sarah J Maas book some time and see how other people are feeling about it before I think about whether or not I want to pick it up. But there are some other March 3rd releases that I'm really excited about. Starting with Marie Lu's new book, The Kingdom of Back. This is a historical fiction book. I think it might be fantasy, but it is about the younger sister of Mozart and her contribution to the musical world. And I'm very excited about reading a historical classical music type of book that might have some fantastical elements to it. If you don't know, I studied music for 3 years in college. I was going to be a music teacher. I changed my mind, but I did spend a lot of time studying music, and I obviously studied Mozart quite a bit. So I'm very excited to read about his sister and read about music in that time period, and also read maybe a little fantasy. I don't actually know if it's fantasy. I feel like it's going to be, because most of Marie Lu's books are fantasy or dystopian or sci-fi. So I feel like there's going to be something in there, but nonetheless, I'm very excited about this one. I also think it has just a gorgeous cover, and I can't wait to read it. Another book that is coming out on the 3rd of March that I'm really excited about is The Midnight Lie by Marie Rutkowski. I don't know a single thing about this book. I have not looked up the synopsis. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know the main character's name. All I know is that I loved Marie Rutkowski's Winners trilogy that came out a few years ago. I read and loved that series so much. It's one of, I think, the most underrated series on BookTube, because I feel like not a lot of people have read it, and not a lot of people have raved about it as much as I read and loved and raved about it. So I am really excited to read something new by her. I don't think she's released a book since the 3rd book in the Winners trilogy, so this is going to be a very exciting read for me. All I know is the cover is beautiful, and it's by Marie Rutkowski, so I'm almost guaranteed to at least enjoy it a little bit, and I'm excited about this one as well. Another March 3rd release that I'm super excited about is 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I read Peter Swanson's, I think it was his first book, The Kind Worth Killing, last year or 2018, and I really liked it. It was just the weirdest but most interesting and like crazy mystery that I'd ever read. And this one revolves around a bookseller who has written a blog post. At some point in his career, he wrote a blog post about some of the most perfect murders in literature. And one day, a serial killer starts killing people in the ways that these people were killed in these books, and in the order that he wrote about them in his blog post. And so the police show up and they start questioning him, and I think he ends up having to help the police solve the mystery. I'm so excited about it. I love books that revolve around books, especially mysteries. I feel like there's just something super special about that, and I can't wait to read this one. If it's anything like The Kind Worth Killing at all, I feel like I'm definitely going to like it a lot. And the last March 3rd release that I've definitely got my eye on that I'm really excited about is In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. This is an adult contemporary romance. I don't know much about it, but I think it's about a woman who has a 5-year plan. She has her life mapped out to a T, what exactly is going to happen. One day she has a dream, I believe, that her life looks completely different than how she expected it to. She is married to a different guy, and she has a different career. She kind of brushes it off like it's nothing, but then one day she runs into the guy in her dream, the guy that her dream self ended up with. And I think it's going to be a romance, maybe a love triangle. I don't really know. I tried to read Rebecca Searle's previous adult book, The Dinner List, and I did not like it at all. I had to DNF it because I hated everything about it. I hated the way it was written and the characters and all that. But this one, the premise is a lot more interesting, and the reviews so far have been a lot better. So I'm excited to check this one out when it comes out. It's going to be, I I think one of the books that I definitely try to get to in March because I'm just excited about it. I just love romance and I've been in a romance mood, and so I'm excited to check out this book when it comes out. The last March book release that I'm really excited about and is probably in like my top 5 most anticipated releases for the entire year is The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. If you don't know, Station 11 is my favorite book of all time. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's definitely like in my top 3. I have been highly anticipating a new Emily St. John Mandel book since I read Station 11. I loved that book so much and I loved the writing style, and I have been anxiously waiting to see what she's going to do next. I read her first book, or maybe it was just one of her previous books, last night in Montreal a couple of years ago, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. So I'm excited to read The Glass Hotel, but I'm also a little bit nervous because I'm afraid that maybe Station 11 was just kind of like a one-off favorite for me, but I have a lot of hope for The Glass Hotel. I haven't really seen any kind of like early reviews for it or anything. I don't know what people are saying about it, but it's one that I'm super anticipating. I cannot wait to read. I don't know much about the plot. I haven't really done a lot of research because I just feel like I'm going to go into it and be fine, but I do know that it's by Emily St. John Mandel and it has the potential to be fantastic. If it's anything like Station 11, it will be, and so I'm really excited about reading that one. It doesn't come out till March 24th though, so more towards the end of the month, and I will be picking it up as soon as it comes out and reading it hopefully as soon as it comes out, because like I said, it's one of my most anticipated releases of the year, like in my top 5. So yeah, there are obviously some other books coming out in March that I'm excited about. So if you want to see my full list of my most anticipated releases for 2020, I will leave a link to my Goodreads shelf down in the description. You can go and see every book that I'm excited about coming out this year. There are quite a few books coming out in March, and obviously with me being busy and having some other books that I want to read, I've had to kind of pick and choose like the ones that I'm most anticipating, the ones that I most want to prioritize. But yeah, March is going to be a crazy good month for book releases, so I'm sure if you're anticipating anything at all, it's probably coming out in March, because it just seems to be the case right now. In addition to some of those most anticipated March releases, I also have a couple of books off of my own shelf that I'm going to try to get to. These are both books that are on my 2020 TBR. I didn't manage to read any books off my 2020 TBR in February. I was fine with that because I read 2 in January, so I was already ahead of the game, but I definitely want to prioritize my 2020 TBR, and so I picked a couple of books off my TBR that I'm going to try to get to in March. The first of those is actually the one that I picked for February, the one that I was really hoping to get to in February, and that was The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. This is another adult contemporary romance. Like I said, I've been in the mood for adult contemporary romance, or just romance in general, so I'm going to try to read The Flatshare in March. I just couldn't get to it in February because of my reading slump and all the other stuff I had going on. This, if you don't know, is an adult contemporary romance, like I already said, about a couple who do a flat share. The man works a night shift, so he has the flat during the day from like 9 to 6, and the woman has an office job, so she has the flat in the evenings from like 6 to 9, and their paths never really cross. They don't really know each other, but they leave each other sticky notes and little messages around the apartment, and through the course of them doing this, they become friends and then eventually, I think, fall in love. It's gotten a lot of mixed reviews, but a lot of people that I trust and admire have really loved it, so I'm still really excited about this one, and it's one that I definitely am going to try to get to in March. I actually started it on the last day of February. I was trying to just read right at the end of the month. I didn't anticipate finishing it, but I was just in the mood to read, so I started it, and I really liked the first chapter, so I'm going to continue on and hopefully read this one very quickly in March. And then I actually had Cole pick a book for me to read because I haven't really been able to decide what I've been in the mood for, and so I just told him, I was like, just go in the office and pick any book. Whatever you pick off the shelf, I will read, unless I've already read it. And so he came in here and he looked around, and the very first book he picked off my shelf also happened to be a book that was on my 2020 TBR. He had no idea. That was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This is a mystery book that I was actually kind of saving for the fall because it gives me more fall vibes, but I promised him that whatever book he picked, I would attempt to read. So I'm going to try to read it here in March. This, like I said, is a mystery book. It is about a man who gets caught up in this game where Evelyn Hardcastle dies for 7 days in a row, and he has to figure out who killed her. He has like 7 chances, and every day he wakes up in the body of a different person, and he has to figure out what their role in her death was. It's gotten a lot of mixed reviews. Honestly, I've seen some very positive reviews for it. I've seen some very negative reviews for it, but I am hopeful. It has been often compared to Clue and Knives Out, which I watched last year and just loved. So I'm really excited about reading this one, and I'm hoping that I will enjoy it as much as some other people have. So those are all the books I'm going to talk about. Moving on, I have one anticipated movie coming out in March that I am excited to see in theaters, and that is Mulan, the new live action Disney remake. Mulan is one of my favorite Disney cartoons, and I have been excited about this remake for a really long time. I sometimes feel like the live action remakes are not that great. I feel like they go either way. I either really love them, like in the case of Cinderella, or I really don't love them, like in the case of Lion King and Aladdin. I'm excited to see where Mulan falls. I know that it's not going to be like a musical. I know that they've changed some of the characters. I know it's going to be more based on the actual story of the real life person Mulan, so I'm excited to see what they do with it. It doesn't come out till the 27th, so it comes out like way towards the end of the month, but I'm excited to see it. It's the only movie that's coming out that I know of in March that I want to go see in theaters. There are a few other movies that I'm interested in, but I'm probably gonna wait and see them at a later time. So yeah, Mulan is the one like most anticipated movie of March 2020 that I will definitely be trying to go see. So those are all the things that I'm most anticipating in March, the things that are upcoming. I don't really know of any TV shows that are starting in March or anything that's coming to Netflix or any other streaming service. I haven't been watching as much TV. I've been actually spending a lot of time just like rewatching Criminal Minds as I do stuff. Like it's like the thing I have on in the background while I do other stuff. So I'm probably going to continue to watch Criminal Minds. Obviously like Survivor is going on right now, which I'm loving, and we're about to get the finale of The Bachelor finally, because the season has sucked so much. But yeah, March is going to be an interesting month. I'm excited for it. March is actually also the month that I was born, so my birthday is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and I'm excited about that, although I'm turning 27 and I feel like just getting closer and closer to 30, and it's making me feel anxious, but I am excited to have another birthday. I love my birthday. It's one of my favorite days of the whole year, so I'm excited to have another one this year. Other than that, I don't really know what's going on in March. It's going to be interesting. I hope that I am able to have a successful March, considering all the stuff I have going on and all of the plans I have for myself, but we'll just have to wait and see as the month goes on. Let me know down in the comments if you are also anticipating any of the books or movies that I talked about in this video, and if not, let me know some books or movies or TV shows that are coming out in March that you are really excited for. Like, what is your most anticipated release for March? I'd be really interested to know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!